for the middle of the board there.
James Wade was once called The Machine, a cold calculating winner, a 10-time major champion, and one of the most consistent throwers the sport had ever seen. But suddenly, he vanished from the top tier. No big headlines, no major crashes, just gone. But what the hell happened to James Wade? To understand James Wade's fall, we have to rewind when he was rising faster than almost anyone in darts history. James Wade wasn't like the other darting legends. He didn't come with a big ego or wild antics. He wasn't flashy. He didn't need to be. He was surgical, calm, cold, precise. That's how he earned the nickname The Machine.
Yeah, fortunate that Brendan played how he did. I'll take that.
In 2006, he exploded onto the scene by winning the World Match Play at just 23 years old. He didn't fluke his way to the top, he tore through it, beat Phil Taylor, beat Raymond van Barneveld, beat every doubt that stood in front of him. And then he just kept going. From 2007 to 2011, he was unstoppable. He won the UK Open 3 times, took the World Grand Prix, dominated the Premier League, where the best of the best go head-to-head. For almost a decade, Wade wasn't just competing, he was collecting. Title after title, final after final. But it wasn't just the trophies, it was how he did it. Wade didn't rely on emotion. While others pumped fists or screamed to the crowd, Wade barely blinked.
With that tag of winning games in the low 90s, but we're seeing these 100 averages a lot more from James Wade. And he's at it again here. Here he goes.
He'd nail a double under pressure and just walk away like it was expected. And for him, it was. His throw? Smooth, measured, robotic in the best possible way. While his rivals cracked under pressure, Wade seemed unshakable. He was the man everyone feared in close games, because in sudden death legs, he was deathly calm. But here's the thing, the calm was just on the outside. Behind the ice-cold exterior, James Wade was unraveling, quietly, privately, invisibly.
Throw really under a bit of pressure. Responding beautifully.
And as the world praised the Machine for his control, he was fighting a battle far bigger than darts. A battle most people didn't even know existed. One that would slowly eat away at everything he'd built. While fans saw the Machine on stage, precise, emotionless, unstoppable, they never saw what James Wade was fighting behind closed doors. For years he'd battled silently with bipolar disorder, and the worst part, he didn't even know. The sudden mood swings, the crushing lows, the overwhelming highs. One day, he'd win a major and feel nothing.
He's had his ups and downs with controversies here and there, but he's built his career on pure skill, stacking up more trophies and titles than most could ever hope to reach. He knows he's not as marketable as some of the others.
The next, he couldn't get out of bed, wondering why his world felt so dark. And in a sport like darts, where focus is everything, his condition was an invisible war. He said in interviews that he used to explode with anger for no reason or crash into exhaustion without warning. While fans were watching cool precision, he was holding himself together with emotional duct tape. Wade would win on stage, then go home feeling completely empty, like none of it mattered. Imagine standing under spotlights, holding trophies, hearing cheers, but inside feeling completely hollow. That's the paradox he lived with. But the hits didn't stop there. In 2023, Wade quietly revealed something even more shocking. He had been secretly battling chronic pancreatitis, a debilitating, painful disease that attacks the digestive system and drains your energy to zero. It wasn't just pain, it was life-threatening. He said it plainly, "I nearly died. Not during a break, not in retirement, but on tour while still competing."
Just high.
Totally understandable why he stayed there and didn't go top to top.
He was throwing darts, travelling the circuit, appearing on stage while his body was shutting down from the inside. And yet, no excuses, no sympathy pleas, Wade kept showing up. Because that's what the sport demands. There's no break in darts, no off-season to recover, no player union to protect you. You either keep playing or get forgotten. It's the dark truth behind professional success. The spotlight doesn't care if you're suffering, it just wants the next highlight. And slowly, the machine began to break. Between 2022 and 2024, James Wade didn't just slow down, he vanished from contention. No titles, early round exits, his averages dipped, his trademark finishing deserted him. Quietly, painfully, the machine began to stall.
Yeah, let's not forget the man that Wade beat in the semis as well, Scott Taylor, who may well be returning home to a bowl of half-eaten cereal, having got a late call to play in today.
He slipped down the rankings, tumbling out of the top 25, something that hadn't happened in nearly 20 years. This wasn't just a rough patch, this was a collapse. He missed selection for the 2023 World Cup of Darts, a stage where he had once been England's most reliable asset. Even more shocking, he was left out of the Premier League. No invite, no explanation, just silence. And for a player with Wade's resume, that felt like a gut punch. There was no scandal, no headlines, no viral meltdown, just absence. One of darts' greatest players slowly slipping out of sight.
Games on the A-play.
If you'd sat down to me and talked to me before the match, Chris, and said, yeah, we're going to be commentating on that one, and double 18.
Commentators stopped mentioning him, fans stopped expecting him, even the PDC seemed to move on without a word. And yet the saddest part? He wasn't done, he was just forgotten. For most players, that's the end of the story. You fall, the sport forgets, and you fade into remember when nostalgia clips. But not James Wade. Because while the world stopped watching, he kept fighting. He wasn't making noise, he wasn't posting comeback hype. He was just rebuilding, quietly, stubbornly in the background. Because the machine might have broken down, but it hadn't shut off.
You'd expect Wade to get a dart at ball from here. Maybe not, unless he hits the treble 17. You'd have fancied him for the treble 20 and then the single 11. But he gets a shot at the ball anyway off treble 17.
In 2024, while the darts world looked elsewhere, James Wade did something far more powerful than any walk-on or press statement. He went silent. No dramatic announcements, no comeback hype video, just a decision, fix the body, clear the mind, rebuild one throw at a time. He stepped back from the spotlight, he stopped chasing headlines, he started healing. Because this wasn't just a return to darts, this was a battle for himself. And then came Players' Championship 19. No one expected it, not after years of decline, not after being written off. But Wade, he didn't show up to participate, he showed up to win. Round after round, he dismantled the field, his throw smooth.
20 for tops. This is for the match. And Wade puts it away and wins by that 5-leg margin.
His mindset locked in, his finishing back to machine levels. He averaged over 101 across the tournament. That's not just good, that's elite. And when he lifted the trophy for the first time in nearly 3 years, the darting world didn't just cheer, they remembered. This wasn't just a win, it was a warning. James Wade hadn't faded, he'd rebooted, and after all the silence, all the pain, all the nights of wondering if it was over, the machine roared back to life.
Really got to produce your best to have any chance really of getting back in the match. James can certainly do that.
100.
After the title win, James Wade didn't scream, he didn't brag, he didn't strut. He just said one thing: I'm still here, and I'm not done yet. It wasn't a soundbite, it was a statement of survival. This comeback, this title, wasn't about ranking points or prize money. It was about proving to himself that after all the breakdowns, the silence and the battles no one saw, he could still stand on that stage and win. He didn't need to yell, the darts spoke for him. And the respect? It was instant. Fans rallied around him, not because of the win, but because of everything it took to get there. Even current stars like Michael Smith and Gerwyn Price tipped their caps. They knew what that kind of comeback costs.
Raymond van Barneveld, a pretty impressive display there. Can he keep it going?
81.
There is all
because in darts, hitting a 9-darter is impressive, but coming back from depression, disease and doubt, that's legendary. Today, James Wade isn't dominating the tour, he's not number one, but he doesn't need to be. He's back, in the fight, on the stage, in the mix. And every match he plays now isn't just another game, it's another chapter in one of the most resilient careers the sport has ever seen. So, what really happened to James Wade? It's simple. Life hit hard. Not just a bad tournament, not just a form dip, we're talking mental illness, chronic pain, no rest, no support, and all of it while the sport kept spinning like nothing was wrong.
You'd expect Wade to get a dart at ball from here. Maybe not unless he hits the treble 17. You'd have fancied him for the treble 20 and then the single 11, but he gets a shot at the ball anyway off treble 17.
Wade didn't disappear because he stopped caring. He didn't fade because the fire burned out. He fell because his body broke down and his mind cried out. And in professional darts, there's no safety net for that. There's no off-season to heal, no union to protect veterans, no system that says, you've done enough, let's help you back. There's only one rule: stay sharp or vanish. And Wade? He did vanish for a while, because the PDC machine doesn't pause, not for rising stars, not for fading legends, not even for the machine.
Well, they won't be going for the maximum. Treble 14 would have been a good lead, and that's okay.
James Wade may climb back to world number 2, he may never lift another major title, but honestly, that's not what defines him anymore. The man survived more than just losses. He battled through the darkest corners of mental illness, fought a disease that almost took his life, was forgotten by the sport he helped build, and still came back. He didn't need to scream, he didn't need to post, he just threw darts, in silence, in pain, in defiance. That's not just talent, that's grit, that's resilience. That's James Wade. Now it's your turn to step up. Drop your take in the comments. Is James Wade the most underrated legend in darts, or has his time really passed? Smash that subscribe button, because if this story hit you hard, wait till you see what we uncover next.